battle is rolling up the hill. You're only hearing firing from the diversionary attack and the British troops. All of the flanking columns climbing the cliffs are coming up armed with the bayonet alone. You can see that, again, the troops are firing at the approaching flanking columns. With the British firing now, it must be Colonel Fieberger's column making it up to the top of the hill. Down at the flag bastion, Lieutenant Colonel DeFleury has knocked down the British flag, and the British are completely surrounded. General Wayne's column should be cresting the slope to your left at any moment. They should begin chanting, "The fort's our own." Again, this is at night, all the confusion, and he was hoping that just the mere shouting of the fact that the fort's our own by the Americans would demoralize the British, and if there were any units that were separated. Here comes General Wayne's column, the right column coming up the cliff face, driving back the pickets. Here come the Americans. Let's give them a cheer. In the 18th century, the cheer was hurrah! Ready? Hip hip! Hurrah! Hip hip! More and more Americans are pouring up the hill. The British and some of their Hessian allies have now been driven back by the other column. An officer has turned his musket upside down to show that they want to surrender. A night attack by the rules of war, you were allowed to kill any of your enemy that was taken in arms. It was not uncommon, and General Anthony Wayne was attacked by the British Light Infantry in 1777 by Bayonet, the British Light Infantry inflicted hundreds of casualties on the surprised American forces at Bayonet. We now see under the trees, it's General Wayne himself. He's been wounded. He's been helped up the slope. He led from the front. He took a bullet raised to his head, which knocked him down, and he had to be supported and brought into the fort with the help of his men. But again, this is an era where he led from the front. So Brigadier General Anthony Wayne has now fought his way in. He was key in planning this, along with George Washington, and executing it. And now in front of you, you can see another company who has come in, and they have fixed bayonets. Obviously, for the safety of our reenactors, the men who stormed the works did not fix their bayonet. It's a little dangerous to be climbing a slope with a 17-inch long piece of steel. Not your piece of steel, but the guy behind you. You don't want to fall backwards and land on that spike. The other nasty thing about those 17-inch long bayonets, they're triangular, and they can make a wound that you can't sew up. It's a triangular shaped wound. You've got a puncture wound that just bleeds and you bleed to death. Really nasty weapon. That's why they were so effective in combat. So now we've got all the aftermath of having captured this position. The Americans had planned to turn the British cannon across the river at the other British fort at Verplank on the other side of the river. But they need access to the powder magazine to begin firing. And the artillery officer is giving the Americans a hard time because he didn't believe, again, it's the confusion of a night attack. He didn't believe that the fort had actually fallen and that that they had surrendered. But the men will be bringing up some of the guns and begin to bombard Verplank from this position in the upper works, and that bombardment will go on for 3 days before, in the face of the entire British Army, Washington decides to abandon this post. So the British have grounded arms, which is a sign in the 18th century of surrender. An American has the captured British colors. It's been taken from the flag bastion, which is in the lower works.
I need a table chair for the general. Over here! Get the general way. Bring General Wayne here to the table.
General Wayne, once again, has been wounded near the beach where he was struck by a musket ball grazing his head. And he's been assisted up the hill. And having at least recovered his senses and having been helped into the fort by his troops, he is going to sit down and write his famous letter to George Washington, a short letter informing him of his victory. We have some of the women of the British Army who, again, their husbands and sweethearts have just been captured, and they're not taking the surrender of their comrades. They're throwing garbage and vegetables at the Americans. The Americans have to round them up. They're going to have to march these women along with the troops. Approximately 70 women in the army with the British Army at this post. So there was a large number of women and children here in 1779 that survived the attack. Luckily, none of the civilians were injured. General Lane, now at the writing desk, is going to pen a note to Washington, which reads, "Dear General, the garrison with Colonel Johnson are ours. Our officers and men behave like men determined to
Do you understand me? Ladies!
This victory was a key boost to the morale of the Whigs, the patriots here in the United States, that a fortified position could be stormed and taken by the Continental Army and taken from crack British regulars.
Not the other one. Right here. Put him right here.
They're securing the gun!
We actually, as the women have now been sequestered by armed guards, and the British regulars are not taking this surrender calmly. This could get dangerous. Oh, I see what the problem is. The Americans are finding deserters from the Continental Army in the ranks of the British troops. These men have deserted the Continental Army and have now been found amongst the ranks of the men they were just fighting minutes ago. I think everyone knows that if you desert the army in the 18th century, the penalty after court-martial is death by hanging, as if you were a common criminal. And men that have been taken in arms serving the enemy are in deep trouble. Going back to the ladies, we have documentation on a couple of the women that were actually here. There was a Mrs. Dinsmore of the Scottish Regiment, the 71st Regiment of Foot, and Mrs. Hannah Norman with her 2 children from the 17th Regiment of Foot. And these women will accompany the prisoners of war all the way to Pennsylvania, where they'll sit out the war in a prisoner of war camp. And now they're marching the women off with all of their possessions.
I'm gonna grow up without a daddy now, eh?
When you joined the British Army, you were serving in a professional force. If you were married and your wife was agreed to be a laundress or a cook or a nurse, she could get rations and be stationed with you. So, just like you join the modern U.S. Army, and if you're married, your wife can get certain privileges of being on post with you. And that is why these women are here. Some of them are unmarried and have followed their boyfriends who are in the British Army. And now, unfortunately, they're going to be marched off to a prisoner of war camp, where hopefully they will continue to do those things that keep the Army going in acting as laundresses, cooks, and nurses to the troops. Now, the British officers
Second section.
will have the opportunity to receive a parole and early exchange for officers, American officers that were captured of equal rank.
Captain, approximately 50 haversacks. 15
But many of them stayed in the prisoner of war facilities to the end of the war, which was now at least 3 years
First section,
away.
what's the report on firelocks? First section, what's the report on muskets from His Majesty's troops?
Once again, going back to our 6 American deserters, there was a summary trial, and 3 of them were hanged at the same place that the British flag was taken down after the battle. So swift justice was meted out to the American deserters. And being a major victory, the next thing would be the American quartermasters tallying up the captured goods, and the Department of Geographers will survey the fort to rebuild it if Washington does decide to stay here and risk the counterattack that will surely come from British General Clinton in New York.
Second company! Second company! Forward on me!
You see some of the camp women are being allowed to tend to the wounded.
Well, so I'm going to fall third company back.
General Wayne's men will continue in the light infantry until the close of 1779, and then they will return to their regiments. Forming up the prisoners to march them out.
Third section. Right? Wheel!
Down to the shade and the shortest possible route.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us give the reenactors 3 cheers to show that we know of the victory. Hip hip! It's huzzah! Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip!
God save the king!
God save the king!
You can see that the American victory here was against the best of the British Army. The victory at the Battle of Trenton wouldn't have been as great a victory if we had not knocked out the Hessians, which were the best of the German mercenary troops in New Jersey in 1776.
That's right.
The victory at Princeton wouldn't have been as great had we not knocked the 17th Regiment of Foot on its
Division order. Fire.
backs one time earlier. You're fighting the best troops in the world, and the Americans are winning the important battles. And we were in it for the long haul. You got to remember, the American Revolution lasted 8 long years. 1775 to 1783. It was the longest war that the United States fought until we entered Vietnam, and our current era